Chapter 29. Can Kingsley finally be allowed to leave vainglory? Kingsley was not doing so well, and kept going in and out of consciousness. He did not know when he was taken from the cage and placed in prison. They had assigned a woman who was not as mean and vicious as most others in this town. She was still dressed as a person who did not care much for the king, but her heart was softened in seeing such a young child being treated so cruelly. She came every day to take care of Kingsley and tried to get him to give up his pilgrimage. Kingsley did not say much. He just smiled. Finally, one day he said,
"I appreciate your help in taking care of me, but I cannot stay. I am going to the good king, and I cannot allow anything or anyone to deter me."
"I too was on my way to see the king once, but the way is hard, and so I was happy to stop here at this city."
"Oh, I think you will be happier with the king. You can continue your journey with me now that I no longer have a companion."
Kingsley stifled a sob, and tears flowed quietly down his cheeks. The woman stroked his cheeks and even cried with him for the loss of his friend and brother, Steadfast. "They told me you were too young. That is why they did not kill you the same as they did your friend. But they are hoping that you will be fearful and leave off this journey and stay here."
"I don't think they understand how this pilgrimage works. This has made me more determined to continue on.
The king loves you.
I keep hearing the
enough.
words of
You're
my
coming with me.
friend not to be mad at them and not to give up."
The woman had no response to give the little boy, but a spark of something awoke in her. Changing the subject, she told him, "They are only keeping you in prison for a few more days. Then they will let you go free. You are welcome to stay with me."
"Thank you for your kind offer and for taking care of me, but I cannot stay. I love the king and must go to him."
A few days later, true to their word, the keeper of the prison told him he was free to leave by order of the mayor of Vainglory. Kingsley hugged the woman and thanked her again for her kindness toward him. He then prayed with her and asked God to melt her heart and give her courage to continue on her journey. As Kingsley walked through the streets, his heart beat fast. He walked past the boys playing in the street, and it took everything in him not to run. He was not feeling strong enough, which was probably the reason he did not run. However, the boys were satisfied with the outcome of their troublemaking, so they waved to him mockingly, but allowed him to go on. As he reached the archway of the gate leading out of the town, a little boy with olive skin and straight black hair ran up and touched him on the shoulder. Kingsley started and jumped. He was sure they were going to drag him back and kill him. Instead, the boy's face reflected something achingly familiar, conviction mixed with fear.
"May I come with you? I cannot stay here any longer. I cannot forget the look on your friend's face, how he did not cry out. Please let us hurry before they see me."
Once they were well beyond the gate and far from the town, the boy spoke again.
"My name is Hopeful. I began this journey with my parents, but when we reached this town, they stopped. They said the journey was too hard with a young child and promised to continue when I was older. But they keep making excuses. They long for the good king, yet fear holds them here. May I walk with you? I have wanted to leave, but I was afraid to go alone."
Kingsley's heart warmed. Hopeful could never replace Steadfast, but companionship was a gift.
"You desire to become a pilgrim?
"Yes. Will you teach me?"
I will point you to the good book. That is where pilgrims learn. I am still learning myself."
And so the two boys walked on, talking and singing along the straight and narrow way. Kingsley guarded his spirit carefully, remembering how pride had once risen in him when speaking with Bendy. Before long, they came upon a young man strolling aimlessly along the road. He introduced himself as Hidden Agenda from the city of Witty, near Vainglory. He spoke proudly of wealth, honor, and comfort.
"We are pilgrims too, you know. However, when the prince of this world comes to visit our town, we all act like we love the wicked prince, just to avoid trouble and inconvenience."
Kingsley stiffened at the word inconvenience. After all he had endured, how could devotion to the good king be called an inconvenience? Hopeful squeezed his arm gently, urging restraint. Hidden Agenda continued, explaining that pilgrims from Witty never began their journey in winter. Why suffer hardship and inconvenience when one could wait for pleasant weather?
There is that word again. So, Would you call yourself a fair-weather Christian?
Of course, wisdom demands it. You are young. In time, you will understand. My mother-in-law, Madam Knows-a-Lot, taught me well. We do not strive against storms. If things grow difficult, we stop and resume when conditions improve.
Is that why you have not traveled far?
Only a wise man would recognize such prudence.
Does Isaiah 43:2 say, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned"? How then do you allow small things like bad weather to deter you?
Now let us be civilized. There is no need to argue. If the weather turns bad, you can carry on. I will seek shelter, or even turn back and begin my journey at another date.
I am afraid we view things differently, so we will walk on ahead if you do not mind. As whether the weather is good or bad, we will not be deterred.
Very well, young lad. Since you seem not to want to learn from your elders, I was quite happy before you came along and will be fine on my own. You are but children anyhow.
With a polite nod of his head, Kingsley quickened his steps, and Hopeful fell in step with him. Now, Hidden Agenda was sorry to see them go. He had quite looked forward to their company. He had so many stories to tell them, not of the king, of course, but of himself, and how he became wealthy, all with his smarts and wisdom. Oh well, he would wait for another pilgrim to walk this way, and he would catch them and tell them all about himself. Still strolling along, Hidden Agenda soon heard the cries and shouts of someone behind him. Turning around, he saw 3 of his friends from Witty City beckoning him to wait for them. Hidden Agenda happily waited for his friends, who inquired where he was going.
Well, I was kind of bored at home and thought I would see how I like being a pilgrim again. It is about my 5th attempt, you know.
And who are those 2 boys you were talking to up ahead?
Oh, they are those straight-laced pilgrims who are servants of the good king. I advised them that I only travel while the weather is enjoyable, and they quoted things from the book they always carry around with them. I disagreed, and they decided to leave my company. Foolish boys. There was so much I could have taught them, since I have walked this road before.
Well, we think you are wise to only travel when the weather is agreeable, and we would be happy to accompany you. They are just like their king. If you do not do exactly as they say, or agree to everything in that book, they would not have much to do with you. Psalm 1:1, something about, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners."
How do you know what is written so well in their book?
Hidden Agenda stopped dead in his tracks.
Oh, one of those pilgrims used those words with me a few years back. And, well, it was to his detriment, I must say.
I will not be spoken to like that, or called ungodly, or a sinner. Why, I am a man of high standards, respected by many in Witty City. Anyway, let us walk on for a while. We can share stories and stop when we like, eat what we like, and drink what we like. It will be like having a party along the way.
So the 3 men walked on, laughing and talking along the way, having a party like they said they would.